S. Strata, stratification. The strata are phenomena of thickening on the body of the earth, simultaneously molecular and molar. Accumulations, coagulations, sedimentations, foldings, they are belts, pincers, or articulations. Summarily and traditionally, we distinguish three major strata: physico-chemical, organic, and anthropomorphic or alloplastic. Each stratum or articulation consists of coded milieus and formed substances. Forms and substances, codes and milieus are not really distinct. They are the abstract components of every articulation. A stratum obviously presents very diverse forms and substances, a variety of codes and milieus. It thus possesses both different formal types of organization and different substantial modes of development, which divide it into peristrata and epistrata, for example, the divisions of the organic stratum. The epistrata and peristrata subdividing a stratum can be considered strata themselves, so that the list is never exhaustive. A given stratum retains a unity of composition in spite of the diversity in its organization and development. The unity of composition relates to formal traits common to all of the forms or codes of a stratum, and to substantial elements, materials common to all of the stratum's substances or milieus. The strata are extremely mobile. One stratum is always capable of serving as the substratum of another or of colliding with another, independently of any evolutionary order. Above all, between two strata or between two stratic divisions there are interstratic phenomena, transcodings and passages between milieus, intermixings. Rhythms pertain to these interstratic movements, which are also acts of stratification. Stratification is like the creation of the world from chaos, a continual renewed creation. And the strata constitute the judgment of God. Classical artists are like God. They make the world by organizing forms and substances, codes and milieus, and rhythms. Articulation, which is constitutive of a stratum, is always a double articulation, double pincer. What is articulated is a content and an expression. Whereas form and substance are not really distinct, content and expression are. Hjelmslev's net is applicable to the strata, articulation of content and articulation of expression, with content and expression each possessing its own form and substance. Scary. Wow. That just went off right outside. Scary. Wow. Between them, between content and expression, there is neither a correspondence nor a cause-effect relation, nor a signified-signifier relation. There is a real distinction, reciprocal presupposition, and only isomorphy. But content and expression are not distinguished from each other in the same fashion on each stratum. The distribution of content and expression is not the same on the three major strata. There is, for example, a linearization of expression on the organic stratum, and a superlinearity of the anthropomorphic strata. That is why the molar and the molecular have very different combinations depending on the stratum considered. What movement, what impulse sweeps us outside the strata and metastrata? Of course, there is no reason to think that all matter is confined to the physico-chemical strata. There exists a submolecular, unformed matter. Similarly, not all life is confined to the organic strata. Rather, The organism is that which life sets against itself in order to limit itself, and there is a life all the more intense, all the more powerful for being anorganic. There are also non-human becomings of human beings that overspill the anthropomorphic strata in all directions. But how can we reach this plane, or rather, how can we construct it, and how can we draw the line leading us there? For outside the strata, or in the absence of strata, we no longer have forms or substances, organization or development, content or expression. We are disarticulated. We no longer even seem to be sustained by rhythms. How could unformed matter, anorganic life, non-human becoming, be anything but chaos, pure and simple? Every undertaking of de-stratification, for example going beyond the organism, plunging into a becoming, must therefore observe concrete rules of extreme caution. A too sudden de-stratification may be suicidal or turn cancerous. In other words, it will sometimes end in chaos, the void, and destruction, and sometimes lock us back into the strata, which become more rigid still, losing their degrees of diversity, differentiation, and mobility.